Celts, Norse, and even the Roman Empire all have passed through Germany, leaving their small contribution to the mythology and folklore of this country. In this video, we will know a little better the creatures of German mythology. Have you ever wondered where I get the incredible soundtracks, captivating sound effects, and stunning visuals that appear in my videos? The answer is Envato. This extraordinary resource is a real treasure for content creators like us. Envato distinguishes itself by its all-in-one. Not only is it a platform where you can find music, images, and videos, but it also offers templates, special effects, and art to boost your channel's presence. What I like the most about Envato is its versatility. Whether you're a video creation beginner or a seasoned veteran, it's the place for you. So if you're ready to take your content to the next level, I encourage you to give Envato a try. You will find the link in the description. And remember, by clicking on the link, you will not only be raising the quality of your creations, you will also be supporting this channel.
You complete me. I love you.
Come on, jump over to Envato, and together we'll make our content truly amazing. Number 1. Mare. Have you ever had one of those nights where you wake up feeling a pressure in your chest, unable to move, as if something or someone is sitting on top of you? If so, you may have had an encounter with the mare, that evil spirit of German folklore, known to cause nightmares and sleep paralysis. It is a creature that can change shape at will, sometimes appearing as a beautiful woman and sometimes as a demonic being with distorted features. This is the mare, a creature capable of sneaking into your dreams and turning them into real nightmares. The most terrifying thing about the mare is its ability to sit on the chest of its victims, causing a feeling of suffocation and paralyzing fear. Beyond its shape-shifting appearance and supernatural powers, the mare has become a popular explanation for night terrors and sleep paralysis. Those moments when you wake up in the night, unable to move or scream, caught in a limbo between sleep and wakefulness. If you ever find yourself wanting to protect yourself from a visit from the mare, people have tried everything from rituals and charms to very specific sleeping practices, believing that these actions may confuse or repel this spirit. Stories about the mare vary widely, but many revolve around the idea of a young girl or tormented spirit becoming a mare due to a curse, jealousy, or desire for revenge. Number 2. Feldgeister. The word Feldgeister literally translates as spirits of the field and refers to a variety of spiritual entities that were believed to inhabit the fields, influence the fertility of the land, and protect or curse the crops depending on whether they were respected or despised by humans. Imagine this. You are in the middle of a field, surrounded by nature. Well, according to the German story, you are not alone. These spirits of the field could be there with you, making sure everything grows as it should, or if they don't like you, doing the opposite. They can be your best friends or your worst enemies. Feldgeisters are not of one form. Some may resemble humans, some may resemble animals, and some are a mixture of both. But they all have one thing in common. They are the bosses of the fields and crops. They can make it rain to make everything bloom or send a plague if they feel offended. That's how intense they are. And how do you make sure they're in a good mood and don't ruin your harvest? The ancients had their tricks, from leaving part of the harvest in the field as an offering to doing special rituals to keep them happy. It was all about living in harmony with them and, therefore, with nature. Number 3. Doppelganger. Have you ever felt that someone is watching you, but when you turn around, there is no one there? Or worse, have you ever passed someone who looks exactly like you on the street? If any of these things have happened to you, you may have had a close encounter with a doppelganger. The term doppelganger comes to us from German, meaning double walker. But it's not a long-lost twin or someone who happens to look like you. This goes much further. A doppelganger is like your reflection out of a mirror, sharing not only your look, but your gestures, your secrets, all identical to you, except perhaps for the small detail that they have no shadow or reflection. That's when you know something is wrong. Seeing your doppelganger is not something you should take lightly. According to legends, it could be a sign that something bad is about to happen. Illness, misfortune, or even your own death. Imagine the level of bad luck it is to come face to face with your supernatural double. There are stories in which these doubles do not come with the best intentions, but quite the opposite. Number 4. Wild Hunt. The wild hunt is a supernatural phenomenon that has been terrorizing people all over Europe, especially when the nights grow long and winter sets in. Imagine this situation. You are at home, curled up on your couch, while a storm rages outside. Suddenly, amidst the noise of the wind, you hear the sound of a hunt. Dogs barking furiously, the galloping of horses, and a troop of ghostly hunters led by none other than mythical figures like Odin, or, for the Germans, Wotan. We're talking about a supernatural gang that isn't exactly looking for rabbits. In legends, it is associated with unpleasant omens, misfortunes, wars, deaths, or the end of a cycle. It is said that seeing or hearing it can bring fatal consequences. To protect themselves, our ancestors had their tricks. Stay indoors on certain nights, recite prayers and incantations, anything to avoid attracting the attention of this fearsome procession. The funny thing is that the figure leading the hunt changes depending on where you are. It could be a legendary hero, an ancient god, or even an emperor transformed into a specter. In America, it would be like opening the door of your house and finding a hunt, led by the great George Washington in ghost version. You wouldn't want to be there, especially if you have a British accent. Number 5. Kobold. These little guys are a case in point in German folklore, and their story is a most peculiar one. It's important to know that not all kobolds are the same. They are everywhere, in your house, underground, in dark mines, or even sailing the sea. Although they change scenery, there is one thing they all have in common. They are masters of cunning and have a special talent for getting you both into and out of trouble, depending on how you treat them. Kobolds are small in stature, not unlike humans in shape, but with characteristics that clearly distinguish them from us, such as their skin, which can vary in unnatural shades, and sometimes with animal features. Let's take a look at the different types of kobolds that exist. Think of a household kobold as that invisible roommate you never knew you needed. At night, when everyone is asleep, they get down to business, tidying and cleaning, a luxury to have one of them. The kobolds resemble the brownies of English mythology or the domovoi of Slavic legends. By the way, I recently told you about them in a video, and if you don't want to miss more videos like this one, this is a good time to subscribe and turn on notifications. Continuing with the theme, kobolds, if they feel offended or ignored, can become mischievous or destructive, hiding objects, making strange noises during the night, or causing more serious damage. In the mines, kobolds are feared and respected by miners, as they were believed to protect the rich ore deposits, or conversely, cause cave-ins and accidents. These kobolds were thought to be able to imitate the voices of loved ones to lure miners away from safety or lead them to rich ore veins. The legend of the mining kobolds also gave rise to the term cobalt, a metal so named because miners blamed the kobolds for cobalt ores that made it difficult to extract more valuable metals and were often poisonous. And we can't forget the sea kobolds. Imagine having one aboard your ship, ensuring a smooth voyage and protecting you from storms. But, as at home and in the mine, if you don't show them the respect they deserve, be prepared to face their wrath on the high seas. You don't want to end up sailing into a storm because you've angered your sea kobold. Number 6. Schwarzerhund. The Schwarzerhund is a ghostly dog that appears in legends all over Europe, including Germany. The Schwarzerhund, or black dog for those of us who don't speak German very well, is not your average dog. We're talking about a large, spectral canine with a coat so black it seems to absorb the light around it. And those eyes, red with unearthly fire, like two beacons in the night. It's not a creature you want to meet on a lonely road. It is often seen as a harbinger of death or misfortune. If you come across it, legend has it, you could be marking days on the calendar. But it's not all so straightforward. Depending on where you are, this dog could be more than just a messenger of bad news. In some tales, it protects graveyards and guides lost souls, which doesn't sound so bad, unless you're one of those souls. But where can you run into one? Well, not at the pet store, that's for sure. The Schwarzerhund prefer places with a more cursed touch. Crossroads, cemeteries, ancient ruins. Those are their haunts. Come to think of it, in those places you can find the creature and gothic people. And while in some stories just seeing you may be enough to ruin your luck, in others, the dog acts more like a guardian or even a vengeful spirit. So what can you do if you encounter one? The short answer is probably nothing that can change your fate. But hey, at least now you know what you might be running into. Number 7. Bellnickel. Bellnickel is a solitary character who appears in the weeks before Christmas, especially during Advent.
Bellnickel has traveled from distant lands to discover how all the boys and the girls have been behaving this last year.
He is rustic in appearance, with shabby clothes covered in fur, sometimes with a mask or a charcoal-stained face. His look is rustic and a bit intimidating, nothing like good old Santa. He has a beard, though of a more earthy and less noble type than, say, Santa Claus. His attire is practical and robust. He carries with him a sack or bag containing candy, nuts, and small toys for good children. But he also has sticks or a branch to punish children who have misbehaved. On the one hand, he rewards children who have been good throughout the year with gifts and treats. On the other hand, he punishes children who have been naughty or disobedient. His arrival is awaited for the rewards he brings and feared for the punishment he may impose.
I judge you here as impish. Oh!
Are you nuts?
I judge you impish! Ow! Ow!
Number 8. Nachtseher. The Nachtseher roughly translates as night eater or after eater. This creature is something like the distant cousin of the vampire, but with a peculiar and rather macabre twist. It is an entity that not only rises from the dead, but also begins to consume its own flesh, and as if that were not enough, that of its relatives, spreading plague and disease. The nocturnal consumer is not the typical monster you might imagine. It is said that those who die in tragic or unnatural ways, especially by suicide, are at risk of becoming these beings. And although there is no specific physical description that identifies them, they are associated with the image of a decomposing corpse, which is creepy enough. But what really puts these beings on the terror map are their abilities. Aside from devouring their own flesh in the grave, these beings have the unsettling ability to terrorize the living, either by consuming their life or energy, transforming into animals, or even creating disease. In the old days, to protect themselves, people resorted to funeral rituals and rather extreme preventative measures, from burying the dead with objects believed to prevent their transformation, to drying out the corpse or placing stones in the mouth of the deceased. All this to make sure that the dead stayed dead. Here are 2 other videos of mythologies that may interest you. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment on this video to support me. See you in next week's videos.